The Bloc Québécois also urges tourists and citizens to exercise extreme caution and follow the instructions of local authorities. But that's not enough for these people and their families. They want to know when they will be able to return home and what their government is doing to ensure that happens. It's not enough to hope that the situation will calm down in the coming days. We have no control over that. We need a plan of action in collaboration with Mexico to bring our citizens back home as soon as possible. To that end, the minister can count on our entire cooperation. Thank you.
The honourable member for Mississauga Erin Mills.
Mr. Speaker, students in Mississauga Erin Mills are clear. Doug Ford's decision to slash OSAP grants and increase student loans is devastating. This change will affect hundreds of thousands of students who rely on OSAP for post-secondary education and equality of opportunity. Yesterday, a health sciences student from my Mississauga Erin Mills Youth Council, not a so-called basket weaver, shared how she now expects over $10,000 in additional debt, forcing her to delay her graduate studies and rethink her path. These policies push students deeper into debt and make it harder to build the skills that our economy needs. Our federal government puts in 60% for OSAP loans, and that part is not impacted, but the Ontario government needs to understand that supporting youth means supporting our economy. Students deserve opportunity, not obstacles. Today, I call on Doug Ford to do the right thing and reverse the proposed measures so our youth can have that equality of opportunity.
The honourable member from Kitchener South Hespeler.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 21 years ago, residents of Kitchener, Ontario, were shocked to hear of a mass murder in our community. Self-described Satanist Michael Sirois rang the doorbell of 87-year-old Verna, who he once knew from church. He stabbed her and 47-year-old Randy 27 times, including through both eyes. Danny Penner is the brother of Randy, continued to cause in his family to this day. Out of respect for his brother's memory, he has resolved time and again to speak at Michael Sirois' parole hearings. Last week, Danny had flights booked to attend the scheduled hearing, only to have it cancelled at last minute out of respect for the psychotic mass murderer's mental health. Our justice system is not delivering justice. Parole should not even be a question for this crime. Why won't the Liberals reform the parole system to respect the bereaved family's trauma rather than the so-called mental health of a psychotic killer?
Here.
The honourable member for Longueuil, Saint-Hubert. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to highlight Scout Week 2026, celebrated throughout the country from February 16th to the 22nd. The scouting movement now for generations has helped to develop committed, responsible, and caring young people through outdoor activities, volunteer work, and community projects. It develops leadership, resilience, and teamwork, qualities that are essential for building the Canada we want. The end of this week coincides with Founders Day in tribute to Robert Baden-Powell and Octave Baden-Powell, who played a key role in the development of the Girl Guides actions within Scouts Canada's movement. I'd like to thank the thousands of volunteers and leaders who dedicate themselves to supporting our young people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable member for Edmonton Manning.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under this Prime Minister, food prices have skyrocketed by 7.3%. Canada now is the food inflation capital of the G7. This is a made-in-Canada problem. 70% of all food is produced domestically. We produce 80% of our processed foods. Conservatives have a food affordability plan to remove hidden liberal taxes on food, such as the industrial carbon tax on farm equipment, fertilizer, and food processors. Let's get rid of the fuel standard tax on farmers, truckers, and those who bring our food. Let's dump the food packaging tax that costs Canadians $1.3 billion annually. Our plan reduces affecting the prices of food. It restores nutritious, affordable meals for Canadians. Will the Prime Minister work with us to achieve this goal? Canadians want to know. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Cape Breton, Canso and Tignish.
Mr. Speaker, on Saturday, a community gathered to pay tribute to the life and legacy of Arnold Syllaboy, who passed away a year ago. Arnold enjoyed bringing people together for a good cause and good times. He competed with determination in any sport or contest, and at the same time had the ability to bring joy and laughter to every situation. Arnold was a caring leader, natural athlete, and a committed volunteer who will be fondly remembered for his great empathy and ability to listen to others. And this naturally made him a great at his work as a youth worker, a social worker, a barber, and a staff member for this MP. A more loyal wingman in life you will not find. His loved ones held a bowling tournament in his honor to raise money for his community and a local high school scholarship to honor his legacy. Mr. Speaker, there are no words for goodbye in the Mi'kmaq language, only we'll see you then. So with that, Namultis Nanupnidup, Agizalolek.
The honourable member for Niagara Falls, Niagara on the Lake.
Speaker, rejected asylum claimants should not be receiving better health care than Canadians who have paid into a system their entire lives. It makes common sense. At a time when 6 million Canadians cannot afford a family doctor and are waiting for care, it's unacceptable that bogus asylum seekers are receiving better health care than Canadians.
That's right.
When over 13,000 residents in Niagara Falls are forced to use a food bank, and when our homeless shelter, the Coronation Centre, is bursting at the seams, why is this government providing better health care services to non-Canadians than to citizens who are desperately in need? Conservatives discovered this healthcare mess, and we propose solutions, including removing federal benefits from ineligible claimants, except for emergency health care. Conservatives will make sure there are enough jobs, houses, and health care for Canadians before bringing in new immigrants, and we will restore compassion and fairness to Canada's broken and abused asylum system.
The honourable member for Bay of Quinte.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to honor and recognize an extraordinary act of courage and compassion by a private citizen in the face of grave danger on Highway 401 near Trenton in my riding of the Bay of Quinte. A gentleman I welcomed here in Ottawa today, Isaac. During a recent snowstorm, multi-vehicle crash on one of Canada's busiest highways, this individual did not hesitate to put others before himself. Amidst whiteout conditions, he stopped his own car and raced vehicle to vehicle, checking on motorists, urging them to remain safe and calm. Witnesses say he returned repeatedly into harm's way to carry out trapped and injured passengers, including pulling a woman from a burning vehicle and helping another man to safety. Acts that emergency officials say undoubtedly saved lives on that day. Isaac himself has humbly downplayed his actions, saying he does not consider himself a hero, Mr. Speaker, but a hero he is indeed. I invite all members to join me in thanking Isaac for his courage and his bravery on that day.
Oral questions. Oral questions. Questions orales. The honourable member for Calgary Nose Hill.
Liberals have enabled hundreds of thousands of bogus refugee claims. Liberals' failures on immigration like this one means billions of tax dollars have been spent on hotels and social welfare for false refugee claimants, all while Canadians struggle to access health care and while legitimate refugees languish. This has to stop. Will the Liberals support our constructive motion to restore fairness and prioritize Canadians who pay for the healthcare system over fake refugees?
Hear, hear.
The Honourable Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I welcome the member to this important discussion. We have already introduced and made changes to the interim federal health program that will considerably reduce the costs. We are also making significant changes and have introduced C-12, which will curb the misuse of asylum. We will control costs, and we will truly protect those that are vulnerable in line with our international and humanitarian obligations.
The honourable member for Calgary Nose Hill.
Well, the Liberals haven't been able to get hundreds of millions of dollars worth of pandemic scam fraud returned to them, so I highly doubt they'll be able to get fake refugees on deportation orders to pay back their health care. Mr. Speaker, this is something that needs to end. I will ask the minister again. This is a common sense motion. Literally everybody agrees with it. Will the minister support our constructive motion to ensure that Canadians who pay for our health system are given better access than fake refugees?
The honourable minister.
Mr. Speaker, to keep our program sustainable, we have and are making measured changes to the health coverage. We've already introduced copay to the system. We are already curbing the misuse. We've introduced a lot of integrity measures. We have C12 that is currently in front of us, and thank you for the Conservatives for supporting that. That will reduce also misuse of the system. We also have international and obligations that Canada will continue to honor, particularly for those that are in need, and most of them are children.
The honourable member for Riding Mountain.
Mr. Speaker, the Parliamentary Budget Officer revealed the interim federal health program will cost taxpayers over $1.5 billion a year. The Liberals expanded this program to provide a deluxe health benefits like physiotherapy and home care to bogus asylum claimants whose phony claims have been rejected. Canadians are not entitled to them, but rejected asylum claimants are. Why are the Liberals giving bogus asylum seekers better health care than Canadians who fund the system?
The honourable minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I really appreciate that question. To speak to the PBA report, those are projections in that report. They do not take into account the changes that are coming in Bill C-12. Neither do they take into account the interim health measures that we've introduced, including copay and other provisions. So I look forward to that.
The honourable member for Riding Mountain.
Mr. Speaker, while the Liberals defend deluxe health benefits for bogus asylum claimants, millions of Canadians are waiting in line for care. There are Canadians in this country who can't get health care they need because the wait list is too long. Ahead of them on that wait list are people who filed fake refugee claims and were rejected by the government's own refugee board. Will the minister explain to Canadians why bogus asylum seekers are ahead of them in line?
The honourable minister.
Mr. Speaker, I want to point to that member who I respect quite a bit. Last session we were on the same committee. In 2014, it was this Conservative government that the Supreme Court ruled that that their changes were unconstitutional, and they took away health care coverage for the most vulnerable, including children. This is not something we will do on this side of the House. Again, we are curbing misuse. We've introduced changes by introducing copay. Asylum claims are down by a third under this government.
That's how it's done, OK, on va donner l'occasion aux gens de se faire entendre. L'honorable.
The honourable member for Charlebourg Saint-Charles. Mr. Speaker, after 10 years of this Liberal government, our once exemplary immigration system is now in a shambles. We have discovered at the Committee of Health that health providers are causing taxpayers to pay up to 5-time provincial levels for illegal asylum seekers. And meanwhile, 6 million Canadians do not have a family doctor. That's an insult for those who have been paying taxes all their lives. Will the government support us in reestablishing fairness in health for Canadians first? The Honourable Minister for Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship. I'd like to thank my colleague for the question. On this side of the House, we are working very hard to ensure that our asylum system is strong. We have reduced asylum claims by a third. We also introduced C12, and I'd like to thank our colleagues who have assisted us in passing that legislation. Thus, asylum claims, as I said, have gone down by a third. And we are strengthening our programs. We are continuing to carry out our work on this topic. The Honourable Member for Charlebourg Saint-Charles. Mr. Speaker, the Parliamentary Budget Officer's report is very clear. The sharp increase in costs from the interim federal health program proves that the system is broken. We need to get rid of federal benefits for non-eligible asylum seekers, except in case of emergency, and we need to ensure that Canada has the housing and healthcare capacity before welcoming new arrivals. Will the government finally guarantee that non-residents will receive healthcare that is superior to the healthcare received by our own citizens? The Honourable Minister. The numbers my colleague quoted are merely projections. They are not real numbers. And given the changes that have been made to the program, those numbers are no longer accurate. We have made significant improvements to the asylum system, including in Bill C-12. The work is going well. We are reducing costs, and we are protecting vulnerable individuals. The Honourable Member for Saint-Jean. Mr. Speaker, the Curem fiasco is costing a lot of money. We were wondering where Quebecers' money was going. The cost of this software went from $1.75 to $6.6 billion, which is almost $5 billion more. And all that money seems to be going into the pockets of private business. Well, actually, $3.4 billion, more than half, has been sent to the private sector. And we don't even know what that money is being used for, because the government is refusing to unveil its contracts to media or to MPs. When will there be a public and independent inquiry? The Honourable Secretary of State, Seniors.
They don't know what the money is being used for, but they were on the committees that approved the spending. They know that this money has been used to complete the transformation of a 60-year-old system. If we had let that system stand, people would not be getting their benefits. Mr. Speaker, this program is not costed in a cost overrun situation as they would assert. This is cost just over $1.4 billion, and the OAS conversion is now complete. The amounts that they're talking about is a theoretical approval for a possible system transformation. This OAS system is now complete, people are being transitioned, and there's no cost overruns.
L'honorable député de...
The Honourable Member for Saint-Jean. Well, apparently, the cost overruns are so unimportant that the government says that they're common practice. Well, that's exactly the problem. That's what happened with ArriveCan. And with Phoenix, it is common practice. And in 2023, the Auditor General stated that there were risks. It warned the government. It said there were risks to taking shortcuts, like what happened with Phoenix, but clearly no one listened, because now, once again, there's a $5 billion cost overrun. And this software is causing problems for 85,000 retirees. When will there be an arm's length inquiry? The Honourable Minister. With a project of this scale, the money is dispersed in sections. There was a disbursement of $1.7 billion for the first phase of the project. And did not include the full benefits in certain cases, so there will be gains in reliability and effectiveness for seniors in future. The Honourable Member for Abitibi-Témiscamingue. Mr. Speaker, 85,000 retirees are experiencing problems with their OAS because of this software, which has now hit $5 billion in cost overruns. And yet those responsible for this problem are giving themselves bonuses. In 2024-25, higher-ups at Employment and Social Development received bonuses worth more than $15 million at a time when retirees are suffering and when taxpayers are paying for this. How can it be that those responsible for this are being paid for their so-called good work? The Honourable Secretary of State, Seniors.
Speaker, my friends across the aisle know there are no cost overruns. This was a planned, phased project, and just over $1.4 billion has been spent, and the OAS project is completed. If there are individuals who are having problems with getting payments on time, we invite them to contact us, and we would like them to do so. Those numbers will go down as Canadians transition to an online system, and we would really like them to transition to the online system, and this will speed things up, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Saskatoon West.
Mr. Speaker, 6 million Canadians don't have access to a family doctor, and it takes 30 weeks for the average Canadian to see a specialist. But the Liberals use a Canadian taxpayer dollars to fund a Cadillac healthcare system for asylum claimants, including free access to glasses and contact lenses, physiotherapy, nursing homes, and hearing aids. These are free benefits that regular citizens don't get. And this doesn't come cheap. It costs nearly $1 billion this year. Will the Liberals support our motion and ensure that asylum claimants don't get better health care than regular Canadians?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, the first thing I would say is they call them bogus asylum claimants. There are actually a great number, in fact millions, of legitimate asylum claimants all over the world. Our country has distinguished itself over its history as being a welcoming place for legitimate asylum claimants. We will always be a welcoming place. And when people arrive here from war-torn areas or children are in need of health services, every single Canadian I know, Mr. Speaker, would insist that we provide those health services to that person. And that's what we're going to continue to do. And enough of
The Honourable Member for Saskatoon West.
Mr. Speaker, it doesn't change the fact that they have created a two-tier healthcare system that disadvantages ordinary Canadians. The Liberals continue to betray Canadians, putting bogus asylum claimants first by giving them access to health care benefits that regular citizens don't get. And we just learned that the government automatically gives residency to refugees from North Korea, Afghanistan, and Yemen without even talking to them. Instead of an in-person interview, these Liberals are blindly granting residency, all while giving generous health care benefits. So I ask again, will the Liberals support our motion and ensure that asylum claimants don't get better health care than regular Canadians?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, in addition to our humanitarian obligations, in many cases treaty obligations, as Mr. Harper found out when the Supreme Court ordered him to restore health benefits to asylum claimants for their well-being, Mr. Speaker, in our case, we have managed this number of asylum claimants down. We have passed a law in this House to move that number down. We have passed, or are about to pass, a law to take benefits down for this category of person. We will continue to manage this carefully, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Similkameen, South Okanagan, West Kootenay.
Thousands of people in BC can't see a family doctor. Yet the Liberals now provide deluxe health care benefits to rejected asylum claimants at taxpayers' expense. The PBO has shown that the interim federal health program has skyrocketed in costs to almost $1 billion. Will the Liberals support our motion and ensure that rejected asylum claimants do not get better health care than Canadians?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, asylum seekers who come to this country are the legitimate ones, those who are found to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain ambient noise in question period, which is totally acceptable in the atmosphere of debate. But when it gets a little past a certain threshold, I have to ask the respondent to start again.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And look, I want to assure all Canadians that asylum seekers who come to this country are judged for their legitimacy. If they are found to be legitimate refugees and asylum seekers, like all compassionate countries, like all signatories to international agreements, they are permitted to stay. Those who are not found to have respected those criteria are asked to leave. This government has made very, very tough measures in this Bill C-12, currently before the Senate, to make sure that we can continue to get that number down.
The Honourable Member for Similkameen, South Okanagan, West Kootenay.
What the member did not mention is that Liberals at the Health Committee are currently filibustering any attempt to even study this program. That doesn't sound like they're trying to fix anything. They want a cover-up. Conservatives are clear on the solution. No more physio or vision care for rejected asylum claimants. Will the Liberals support our motion and ensure that rejected asylum claimants do not get superior health care benefits to Canadians?
L'honorable ministre de la Santé.
Mr. Speaker, it's really unfortunate that we have this kind of conversation where we are talking of the health of Canadians and asylum seekers. The reality is those people are in the country and we have agreement. And our system, the health system is a compassionate system. So what we are saying is those people, they need to have access to help. And we are working closely with provinces and territories also to get more access to Canadian people. Thank you.
The honourable member for Red Deer.
Mr. Speaker, the Parliamentary Budget Officer reports the interim federal health program will cost nearly $1.5 billion a year to cover health care for fraudulent asylum claimants. This program gives anyone claiming asylum better health care than Canadians who pay for it, even if these claims are denied. As wait times grow and health care access shrinks for citizens, the Liberals prioritize a growing list of bogus refugees over Canadians. Will the government support our Conservative motion to stop criminal claimants from receiving superior health benefits at Canadian taxpayers' expense?
Well said. The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Mr. Speaker, I would put more credence in my honourable colleague's argument if he or his party actually had a record of defending better health care for Canadians. Think about the record that they have demonstrated over the time I've been a member of Parliament. They have opposed the largest transfer to provincial health care systems. Wow. They have opposed dental coverage for Canadians. They have opposed birth care and other essential medicines that Canadians need. This isn't about the quality of health care that Canadians need. The only solution that they're putting forward is to deny the children of refugees dental care. Frankly, Mr. Speaker, this is disgusting, un-Canadian, and beneath this House.
The honourable member for Niagara South.
Mr. Speaker, too many people in Niagara cannot find a family doctor. Right now, taxpayers are being charged up to 5 times the provincial rates to provide health care to rejected asylum claimants. Families have waited long enough, and our failed asylum system is making them wait even longer. Conservatives have proposed common-sense solutions to address this horrible situation. It's time for the government to remove benefits to bogus claimants. Will the government support our motion and ensure that non-citizens and non-permanent residents do not get superior health care to Canadians?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, you know what happened? Mr. Speaker, do you know what happens as failed asylum seekers? They're removed, Mr. Speaker. Last year, we removed over 22,000 individuals who are inadmissible, Mr. Speaker. We as a government are ensuring
32,000 missing.
The honourable member for.
It's okay.
Yeah. But listen, I need to hear the questions and answers so I can tell if any rules are being broken. So, the honourable Minister of Public Safety from the top, please.
Mr. Speaker, you know what happens to failed asylum seekers, Mr. Speaker? They're removed. Last year, we removed over 22,000 inadmissible individuals from Canada. This year, through the Strengthening Canada's Immigration System Act, C-12, which is now going through the Senate, Mr. Speaker, we will be removing more individuals and more will be ineligible to seek asylum. We are hiring 1,000 new CBSA officers, the first cohort of which are graduating this Friday, Mr. Speaker. We are strengthening our border and ensuring that those who are inadmissible do not remain in here, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
The honourable member for Kitchener South Hespeler.
Mr. Speaker, that minister knows very well he has lost 32,000 people who have been ordered deported. As a physician, as the son of a refugee to Canada, this issue is very close to my heart. I wish we were speaking about healthcare today, but instead we must speak about healthcare fraud. We are talking about people who claim refugee status only after they are investigated or arrested for crimes like terrorism or extortion. We need to talk about such people because they are receiving better health benefits than ordinary tax-paying Canadians. When seniors in Kitchener can't find family doctors and can't afford their medicines, how on earth does the Liberal government...
The Honourable Minister of Jobs and Families.
Mr. Speaker, I don't think that member was around when the opposition party voted time and again against the investments that provinces and territories have been asking us to make in strengthening our universal health care system. Mr. Speaker, that's how we build a health care system that everybody is proud of, something that we built on the foundations of our forefathers and mothers in this place, where we can ensure that people can access quality, affordable health care across this country, Mr. Speaker, not by tearing down different groups of people.
The Honourable Member for Gaspésie, les Îles de la Madeleine, Liste des Gauches. Mr. Speaker, the federal government lost control during the Roxham Road crisis, and it was even worse than we thought. The C.D. Howe Institute has revealed that when Ottawa was overwhelmed by asylum claims, it reduced its monitoring. Between 2019 and 2023, 25,000 people were accepted as refugees without being interviewed. So that's 25,000 refugees who were accepted, many in Quebec, without even having their statements checked. And this morning at committee, we learned that that's still what's being done. When will the government take action on this? The Honourable Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The safety of Canadians and Quebecers is our priority. Officers carefully examine every asylum claim before it's submitted. To the Refugee Board, and non-eligible claims are not sent along. We have already reduced asylum claims by 1/3, and we will continue to take action. The Honourable Member for Gaspésie, les Îles de la Madeleine, Liste des Gauches. Mr. Speaker, when the federal government found itself overwhelmed by asylum claims at Roxham Road, its solution was to allow refugees in blindly in order to speed things up. Ottawa drew up a list of countries from which asylum claimants were automatically accepted without being asked any questions. For example, Russia, Afghanistan, Iran, and other countries. So the result was that right in the middle of the Roxham Road crisis, the acceptance rate went from 65 to 80%. Why did the government tolerate this? Why did it let us accept refugees without ever having met with them?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Merci pour la question, Mr. Speaker. Let me be very clear. Canada has one of the most robust immigration refugee protection system in the world. The Immigration Refugee Board is the gold standard by which adjudication are made towards refugee protection. As a country that is a signatory to the Refugee Convention of 1951, it's important that we have full faith in our system, Mr. Speaker. The IRB does adjudicate and ensures that those who are inadmissible, those who are ineligible to seek asylum, do not go forward, and those who are deemed to be clear refugees do get asylum, Mr.
The Honourable Member for Foothills.
The Liberals are shutting down agricultural research, and now their red tape is literally choking the life out of agri-food businesses. A survey said 90% of agri-food business owners believe that Liberal policies are putting the future of Canadian agriculture at risk. Red tape and regulations have already increased Canadian food inflation to 7.3%, by far more than double the rate in the United States. Experts are clear. Red tape, inflationary spending, the industrial carbon tax are increasing the cost of food production. How expensive do groceries have to get before the Liberals stop strangling Canadian farmers?
Good question.
The Honourable Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as the government of Canada, we're going to continue to invest in our farmers and ranchers right across this country. We'll continue to make sure that they lead the world in science, what we talked about, Mr. Speaker. But I also want to come back, Mr. Speaker, to the industrial carbon tax. We know it's ineligible in the cost of food, Mr. Speaker, in this country. But one thing I want to say to everyone, Mr. Speaker, is it's not the farmers that are making the money. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Foothills.
He's right. It's not farmers who are making the money. This is why 90% of agri-food business owners say Liberal policy is restricting their ability to be productive and grow.
Exactly.
70% of Canadian farmers are telling their kids not to take over the family farm. This is devastating for the future of Canadian food production and food security. It is making Canada less productive, less competitive, and less food secure.
Yeah.
Canadians are already paying amongst the highest grocery prices in the G7. Why is this Liberal government so determined to drown farmers in red tape and taxes and make food unaffordable for Canadians?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as I travel around the world, our farmers are the envy of the world and what they do, Mr. Speaker, here at home. They're some of the best farmers in the world, and we'll continue to ensure that they continue that, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, blaming farmers for the cost of food is not the appropriate level of issue. We're talking about many different types of issues that diffuse some of the costs around groceries and items, Mr. Speaker. We'll continue to support them as best we can. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member for Middlesex London.
Mr. Speaker, I keep hearing from farmers and producers that Liberal red tape and taxes is choking the life out of them and is threatening our food sovereignty. Nearly 90% of food businesses believe that the future of Canadian agriculture is at risk. Liberal red tape means punishing regulations and industrial carbon and fuel taxes that are driving up the cost of production across the entire food supply chain. So how high will grocery prices have to skyrocket before the Liberals stop strangling Canadian farmers with taxes and red tape?
The Honourable Minister of International Trade.
Speaker, while the Conservatives refuse to acknowledge the success of Canadian agriculture and the work of farmers, the facts speak for themselves. Our agri-food exports reached over $100 billion, Mr. Speaker. The sector supports over 2.3 million Canadians, or 1 in 9 jobs, Mr. Speaker. We'll continue standing with our farmers as they export to countries around the world. Thank you.
Honourable Member for Middlesex London.
Mr. Speaker, the reality is it's been 10 years of bad Liberal policies and hidden taxes that have driven Canadian food inflation to 7.3%, the highest in the G7, far more than double the rate in the US. This is a Liberal-led, made-in-Canada problem that is driving up food prices and driving Canadian producers right out of business. With 70% of all food produced domestically, including 80% of our processed foods, when will the Liberals actually take this seriously and start cutting taxes and red tape for our farmers?
The Honourable Minister.
Speaking of farmers, we are listening to our farmers. In fact, in our last trip to China, we got them access to over $7 billion of agriculture access in canola, in seafood, in beef. That means good jobs for farmers in the canola sector, over 200,000 jobs in the beef sector, over 250,000 jobs in our seafood sector, 35,000 jobs, Mr. Speaker. This is what we're doing. We're standing with our farmers and opening new markets around the world.
The Honourable Member for Hamilton East, Stony Creek.
In December, the Stony Creek Food Bank saw a record 1,694 total visits, the largest since 2022. Also in December, the Fair Share Food Bank in Oakville saw the largest number of people they've ever served, over 913 families. Canadians rely on food banks because food prices have skyrocketed by 7.3%. How many Canadians need to visit a food bank before these Liberals stop strangling Canadian food production with red tape and punishing taxes?
The Honourable Minister for Jobs and Families.
Speaker, every step of the way as this government works to support families in need, these Conservatives vote against them. They obstruct our budget bill in this House, Mr. Speaker. Money that Canadian families are needing for all kinds of things, including the jobs that many of our union workers are relying on. You know what helps with food insecurity, Mr. Speaker? Good paying jobs. But newsflash, these Conservatives vote against every measure that actually creates good paying jobs. So whether it's helping hungry people or helping hardworking Canadians, they're opposed. What's it going to take?
The Honourable Member for Sudbury.
Canadians elected a new government with a mandate to build Canada strong. This means investing in our workers, industries, and supply chains by unlocking new opportunities and investing in our sovereignty. This also means investing in the brave men and women who are members of our Canadian Armed Forces. Can the Minister of National Defence provide an update on what we're doing to build Canada's defence industry while supporting our Canadian Armed Forces?
Good question. The Honourable Minister of National Defence.
Speaker, last week we launched Canada's first ever defence industrial strategy. It's a plan that provides a signal to industry, to allies, to partners, to the Canadian Armed Forces and to Canadians alike that we are moving forward quickly and we're moving forward with purpose. We are building We are partnering and we're buying Canadian. We're strengthening our relationship with our partners. We're transforming procurement. We're investing for results. That's what our new strategy is all about.
The Honourable Member for Richmond-Arthabasca. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My colleagues should check out the Liberal Party's election campaign platform at page 63. I quote, "The federal government has spent too much." When the Liberals came to power, the debt was $700 billion. It has grown to $1.4 trillion in just 10 years. In their election campaign platform, they also talk about efficiency and results. Well, now we have this CURAM computer system that has gone from $1.6 billion to $6.6 billion. 85,000 seniors are waiting for their money. Is this what the Liberals call efficiency? The Honourable Minister. Mr. Speaker, I know it's Monday and the colleague wanted to hear some good news, so I have some good news for him, Mr. Speaker. Canada has the second fastest growth of all G7 countries, Mr. Speaker. That's the Liberal plan. That's the Prime Minister's plan, Mr. Speaker. Our plan is to grow the Canadian economy. He should not speak against our economy. He should be proud. We are building jobs. We're building cars. We're building planes. We have critical minerals. We have energy. We are the only G7 country with a free trade agreement with all other G7 countries. Mr. Speaker, we are here to build and grow. The Honourable Member for Richmond-Arthabasca. Mr. Speaker, that's the respect that this minister has for seniors. I am talking about 85,000 seniors who are not receiving their pension payments. I bring that up and he talks about Canada's economic development. There's no respect for our seniors. These seniors built the country. The Honourable Government House Leader.
Monsieur le Président, là, on sombre dans la démagogie, puis pas à peu près, Monsieur le Président.
Mr. Speaker, we transitioned from a very old system from the 70s and we modernized it. There was no cost overrun. What there was a modernization of our IT systems. Now, there were a few cases, and I'm waiting for the member across the way to inform me of any cases he may be aware of. He should inform us, and we will solve any cases that need to be fixed. But generally, we have good news for Canada. A reminder to all, I know that we all get excited sometimes, but we shouldn't smack our desks too loudly because that can harm interpreters. The Honourable Member for Bellechasse-les-Échemins-Lévis. After the Phoenix fiasco, now we have CURAM, ruining seniors' lives. It was initially expected to cost $1.75 billion. Now the bill has skyrocketed to $6.6 billion. That's 4 times the initial price, Mr. Speaker. While the Liberals are wasting taxpayers' money, seniors are waiting 9 months for their pension payments. My questions are very simple. First question, why do Liberal programs always run massively over budget? Second question, why do seniors have to suffer the consequences of federal Liberal incompetence with yet another failed software program? The Honourable Secretary of State for Seniors. We did this under budget. Over 7 million seniors are now receiving their benefits through a modernized system. CURAM, the total cost, the $6.6 billion, is for 4 different projects. $6.6 billion was the approved initial amount for the total duration of the project. The Honourable Member for Bellechasse-les-Échemins-Lévis. Same old government, same old Liberal habits. Mr. Speaker, as usual, consulting firms are lining their pockets. Since the Liberals came to power, they have spent no less than $26 billion on external contracts. History is repeating itself with CURAM, a project with an astronomical cost of $6.6 billion, of which about half will go directly to external firms. Meanwhile, 85,000 seniors are suffering. They're dealing with payment delays or repeated administrative errors. Why should seniors pay the price for this Liberal incompetence, Mr. Speaker? The Honourable Government House Leader. Mr. Speaker, over 7 million Canadians are benefiting from OAS and are receiving their pensions through this new system with no issues. Now, of course, there have been a few issues here and there in the transition from a very outdated system to a very modern system. Of course, there are a couple of little issues. We are addressing them, and if there are any issues, people can contact Service Canada, or they can even contact their Member of Parliament, and we will help them. The Honourable Member for Chicoutimi-Le-Fjord. Mr. Speaker, $5 billion. It's atrocious. $5 billion is how much the QRM cost overrun will cost taxpayers. The Liberals think that's totally normal and acceptable. Worse still, we're unable to obtain information about the private external consultants to whom most of that sum is being paid. This has become the norm over the past 10 years. The norm is no transparency. This is a federal version of Quebec's SACLIC, but 5 times more expensive. Why should seniors and taxpayers pay the price for this disastrous decision-making? The Honourable Minister of Jobs and Families.
The opposition is saying, in fact, the initial program authority of $1.7 billion was intended to be used to kickstart the first phase. In fact, the program is under budget, and great news, Mr. Speaker, 7 million Canadians have transitioned to this new system. The system was 60 years old. Can you imagine that, Mr. Speaker? Paper applications being filed, lots of mistakes. And Mr. Speaker, this is going to make life easier for all seniors going forward. If the member opposite has some urgent case that they know of, please send them our way. We're able to process those in 24 hours.
L'Honorable. The Honourable Member for Lévis-Lotbinière. Yet another scandal, Mr. Speaker. After the Phoenix scandal, Liberal incompetence has reached new heights, the highest heights in the QRM file. The QRM software is a federal version of Quebec's SACLIC. The bill for this IT project will come to $6.6 billion, and more than half of that amount will go to consultants who get away with delays, failures, and cost overruns without any consequences. Mr. Speaker, while Canadians are struggling, public money is being thrown out the window. Why are cost overruns part of Liberal DNA? The Honourable Government House Leader. Mr. Speaker, the question was a bit funny or entertaining, but this question has been asked many times and answered many times. The answer is there was no cost overrun. Over 7 million Canadians are benefiting from the new software, and it's a success, Mr. Speaker. The Honourable Member for Côte-du-Sud, Rivière-du-Loup, Katascomique, Témiscouata. Well, we thought we had seen it all with Phoenix and ArriveCAN, but now QRM has surpassed even Quebec's infamous SACLIC. The Liberals told us that they would manage taxpayers' money responsibly. What do we get instead? $6.6 billion wasted, and seniors still waiting for their pension payments. And the worst part, more than half that money is going straight into the pockets of consultants. How can the Liberals justify this mess? Why are the Liberals making seniors suffer the consequences of failed federal software? The Honourable Government House Leader. This question has been asked many times and answered many times. Now I'll say it's been asked many, many times. Mr. Speaker, they're shouting about nothing. Of course, it's complicated to transition federal software, but this is a success story. We had an outdated system, and we transitioned to an ultra-modern system. Now benefits are being paid out to over 7 million Canadians, and Mr. Speaker, we should celebrate that.
Mr. Speaker, the Liberal government was forewarned in 2023 that their new system, intended to enhance OAS and GIS payments, was already going over budget. This project has ballooned to $6.6 billion. The taxpayer is now responsible for the failure of a system that was supposed to guarantee better access for our seniors. At a time when seniors are struggling to make ends meet, how does this government justify billions of wasteful spending on a broken system?
The Honourable Secretary of State for Seniors.
Mr. Speaker, I'm really happy to answer this question and remind the member opposite that years ago, the Auditor General warned Harper's Conservatives that the old benefits payment system was outdated and at risk. No. That means money at all. What did the Conservatives do, Mr. Speaker? Nothing. That's just their way. Get out of the way and do nothing. We have invested. We are modernizing the system to ensure that it serves seniors for years to come. Mr. Speaker, if a problem arises, we will fix it.
The honourable member for King Vaughan.
Mr. Speaker, another excuse from the Liberal government. Seniors are already struggling with the cost of living, and delayed payments are causing seniors to fall behind on rent, skip groceries, and worry about how they will pay for their medication. This is unacceptable that this project went from $1.7 billion to $6.6 billion. Who's accountable for this massive cost overrun? Who will be fired, and when will this government take responsibility for another overpriced failed system?
Honourable Minister for Jobs and Family.
Mr. Speaker, if you consider transitioning 7 million Canadians to a system without a hitch, that's actually not my definition of failure. You know what is, Mr. Speaker? Not investing in the modernization of systems when they had a chance, and voting against, Mr. Speaker, bringing all our systems up to date. Not only are we modernizing OAS, but we're modernizing EI and CPP for all Canadians. Mr. Speaker, Canadians ought to have systems that they can use digitally. That's what we're doing, Mr. Speaker. We're making sure that Canadians have state-of-the-art benefit payments.
L'honorable député.
The honourable member for Les Pays d'en Haut. Mr. Speaker, the world is changing. The global order is disrupted, and rapid technological advances are changing the way Canada must respond to threats. Canada's new government is responding by rebuilding, rearming, and reinvesting in the Canadian Armed Forces. Mr. Speaker, we are already seeing results. Applications to join the Canadian Armed Forces have increased by nearly 13%, and Canada is on track to meet its target of 2%. Can the Minister of Canada-United States Trade explain to the House how the first-ever defence industrial strategy will strengthen our security and stimulate economic growth across the country? The Minister of Canada-US Trade. Mr. Speaker, Canada's new government is focusing on what we can control, building here at home and working with allies and buying what we need. The new defense industrial strategy represents a $500 billion investment in Canadian industry, security, and prosperity. Mr. Speaker, this is as much an employment strategy as it is a defense strategy. 125,000 new positions will be created, strengthened supply chains, and this is how we are standing up for Canada.
Skyrocketed 7.3%, rising more than twice as fast as other goods. This is not an imported problem. 70% of the food Canadians consume is produced domestically, including 80% of processed foods. Yet nearly 90% of agribusinesses now say the future of Canadian ag is at risk. So why are food prices rising? Punishing regulations, inflationary spending, and Liberal taxes continue to force Canadians to pay more at the store. How expensive does food have to get before the Liberals stop strangling farmers and get serious about bringing back affordable food?
The Honourable Minister of Finance.
We're getting very serious. It's called ensuring food security for Canadians. I'm happy to share that with the member. He may want to explain that to his constituent. The great thing, Mr. Speaker, with the Canada Groceries and Essential Benefit, we're helping Canadians, 12 million Canadians. But in addition, and I'm sure he's going to call his constituent, we're putting $500 million to help to have a more resilient supply chain, Mr. Speaker. We need to grow more food in Canada. We need to have a better supply chain. We need to focus on food security. That's exactly what we're doing, and I hope that the Conservative will vote in favor of the bill, Mr. Speaker, because this is helping farmers.
The honourable member for Flamborough, Glanbrook, Brampton North.
Mr. Speaker, under this Prime Minister, food prices have jumped 7.3% and are rising twice as fast as other goods, making Canada the food inflation capital of the G7. This is a made-in-Canada problem. 70% of our food production is right here at home. Yet nearly 90% of agribusinesses say Liberal red tape is putting them at risk. Punishing regulations and the industrial carbon tax are driving up costs. Just how much higher must grocery bills climb before the Liberals stop strangling Canadian food production with red tape and punishing taxes?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it is a bit rich to listen to the Conservatives talk about Canadian farmers and agri-food businesses when they had their chance in April 2025 and they had absolutely nothing in their platform for Canadian farmers or agri-food businesses. Mr. Speaker, we know the price of food is a major issue in this country. That's why we've introduced the Groceries and Essentials Rebate. 12.6 million Canadians will benefit, up to $1,900 a year. But we're also introducing the National Food Security Strategy, Mr. Speaker. This is an opportunity to look at the systemic aspects of food, what we can do to help support farmers, agri-food businesses. It won't be cutting the industrial carbon price. That's not a real plan, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for St. John, St. Croix.
Mr. Speaker, costs keep going up, Liberals keep doing the same thing. This year in New Brunswick, families will spend $1,000 more on grocery bills than last year. With 70% of food produced domestically, this is a made-in-Canada problem caused by these Liberals. Food is expensive because Canadian taxes on farming, trucking, and packaging keeps going up. It's all paid by Canadian consumers, and rising taxes on energy means more pain is on the way. Experts are clear, punishing regulations, inflationary spending, and the Liberal industrial carbon tax are the cause. How expensive does food have to get before Liberals do something?
The Honourable Secretary of State for Financial Institutions.
Mr. Speaker, when it comes to fighting affordability, that member and that leader are missing in action. Mr. Speaker, we've cut taxes for 22 million Canadians. We've cut the consumer carbon tax. We've cut the GST for first-time homebuyers. And just recently, we announced a Groceries and Essentials benefit that will put up to $1,900 in the pockets of New Brunswickers' working families. Time for that member and that leader to stand up, stop the obstruction, fight for Canadian families. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member for Burnaby Central.
Mr. Speaker, Build Canada Home is Canada's affordable housing builder, and it's already delivering real results. It continues to support projects that provide Canadians with safe, stable, and affordable homes, including those coming to British Columbia, through a recently announced partnership. Can the Minister of Housing and Infrastructure update this House on how this new partnership will help deliver much-needed housing for residents in British Columbia?
Honourable Minister of Housing and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thanks to the member for his question. We have very exciting news in BC. Build Canada Homes partnership is set to deliver 1,100 new affordable homes.
That's great news.
Many of these priority projects are set to break ground this year, including 700 supportive and transitional homes for those who need them the most. I hope that the members opposite will support the Build Canada Homes legislation rather than obstructing and preventing Canadians from getting access to affordable housing. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Elgin, St. Thomas, London South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A British Columbia School Board trustee was fined $750,000 for the egregious crime of saying there are two genders. These are the same kangaroo courts that the Liberals' Online Harms Act empowers. It's the same regulation of emotion that Liberal Bill C9 supercharges. The Liberals claim they will uphold freedom of expression, but still have not said whether they will acknowledge and accept the Federal Court of Appeal ruling that they violated the constitutional rights of Canadians by invoking the Emergencies Act. Will they commit now to giving up on their censorship agenda and letting Canadians live their lives and speak their minds?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Well, a couple points, Mr. Speaker. There is no censorship agenda. We will keep our kids safe, including safe from child pornographers, and the convoy was an illegal occupation of the downtown of our capital that people wanted gone, and he supported with his leader. Shame on them, bringing donuts to people occupying our nation's capital.
The honourable member for Courtenay, Alberni. We're moving on to another question.
Speaker, we keep asking this Liberal government when pharmacare will expand, and we can't get a straight answer from the Minister of Health. British Columbia's pharmacare agreement starts next week because New Democrats push for it and because the BC NDP moved quickly. Families in other provinces are still waiting because the Liberal government isn't negotiating. This means access to life-saving medicine depends on your postal code. When will the Minister of Health finally start negotiating so Canadians can access life-saving medicine no matter where they live?
L'honorable ministre de la Santé.
The Honourable Minister for Health. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
His question, and as he knows, I'm having conversation with each of the health ministers in provinces and territories about pharmacare. So we will let you know as long as we are ready to move forward. Thank you.
Good answer.
That ends question period. My understanding is that the honourable member for Carleton is. Après, Monsieur le député de Carleton.
The member for Carleton.
The honourable member for Carleton has a point of order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise on a point of order. There was some very unparliamentary language that we heard today. It was probably spoken by accident. I'd like you to ask the member for Lakeland to withdraw the comment.
I didn't hear the language in question. I don't know if the honourable member wants to address this one way or the other. The honourable member for Lakeland. I didn't hear the comment, so.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I withdraw my comment by telling the truth that the answer was bovine excrement.
You know, the first time nobody heard it. The second time, unfortunately, we had to hear it. L'honorable député.
The honourable member for Port-Nord, Jacques Cartier. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think you'll find in the House of Commons that you have the responsibility to protect the rights of all parliamentarians. I saw during question period my colleague, the Minister of Energy and Natural Resources, used hand signals that I would urge you to look into when he was speaking to one of my colleagues. Perhaps he could immediately present his apologies. I myself did not see the gesture, says the Speaker, and I doubt that by watching the video again, I will be able to get a better view of this because, of course, the camera is focused on the person, on the questioner, and on the person answering the question. But your point is noted.
It being 3:11, the House will now proceed to the taking of the deferred recorded division on the amendment to the motion of Ms. Dancho relating to the business of supply. Call in the members. The question is as follows. Ms. Dancho, seconded by Ms. Gladue, moved that, given that one, over 5,000, shall I dispense? No. That over 5,000 auto sector jobs have been lost since the Prime Minister came to office. Two, the number of cars produced in Canada since 2016 has fallen by half, from 2.3 million in 2016 to 1.2 million in 2025. Three, the Prime Minister has introduced an auto strategy that subsidizes electric vehicles made in foreign countries. Four, the Prime Minister's plan now requires Canadian workers to pay taxes that subsidize foreign-made vehicles they can't afford. The House call on the government to fix their auto strategy by A, scrapping the subsidies for foreign-made electric vehicles entering Canada that forces Canadian workers to subsidize $50,000 new cars. B, removing the GST on Canadian-made vehicles. And C, using their existing authority to reduce the amount of tax withheld on severance payments issued to workers at the GM CAMI facility in Ingersoll. Mr. Deltel, appuyé par...
Mr. Deltel, seconded by Mr. App, moves the following amendment, that the motion be amended by adding the following the GM facility in Oshawa, the Stellantis facility in Brampton, the PACCAR facility in Sainte-Thérèse, and all other severance packages for Canadian workers in the auto sector.
1-minute voting period for members voting electronically has started, and the House will now proceed to the vote for members participating in person. All those in favor of the amendment will please rise.
Scheer.
Mr. Scheer.
Mr. Brock.
Mr. Brock.
Mr. Bazan.
Mr. Bazan.
Mrs. Block.
Mrs. Block.
Monsieur Deltel.
Monsieur Deltel.
Monsieur Paulus.
Monsieur Paulus.
Miss Lewis Haldeman Norfolk.
Miss Lewis Haldeman Norfolk.
Mrs. Stubbs.
Mrs. Stubbs.
Mr. Barlow.
Mr. Barlow.
Mr. Seaback.
Mr. Seaback.
Mr. Chambers.
Mr. Chambers.
Mr. Albus.
Mr. Albus.
Mr. Caputo.
Mr. Caputo.
Mr. Aitchison.
Mr. Aitchison.
Mr. Small.
Mr. Small.
Monsieur Brassard.
Monsieur Brassard.
Mr. Moore.
Mr. Moore.
Mr. Workington.
Mr. Workington.
Mrs. Cramp-Nyman.
Mrs. Cramp-Nyman.
Mr. Canna.
Mr. Canna.
Mrs. Roberts.
Mrs. Roberts.
Madame Vien.
Madame Vien.
Monsieur Martel.
Monsieur Martel.
Mr. Cooper.
Mr. Cooper.
Mr. Lloyd.
Mr. Lloyd.
Mr. Lawrence.
Mr. Lawrence.
Mr. Van Popta.
Mr. Van Popta.
Mr. Kelly.
Mr. Kelly.
Monsieur Généreux.
Monsieur Généreux.
Monsieur Gould.
Monsieur Gould.
Mr. Viss.
Mr. Viss.
Mr. Tucker.
Mr. Tucker.
Mr. Steinley.
Mr. Steinley.
Mr. Lobb.
Mr. Lobb.
Mr. Baldinelli.
Mr. Baldinelli.
Mr. Davidson.
Mr. Davidson.
Mr. Calkins.
Mr. Calkins.
Mr. Muse.
Mr. Muse.
Mr. Waugh.
Mr. Waugh.
Miss Rude.
Ms. Rude.
Mr. Ho.
Mr. Ho.
Miss Gledoux.
Ms. Gledoux.
Mr. Majumdar.
Mr. Majumdar.
Mrs. Goodridge.
Mrs. Goodridge.
Mr. Shipley.
Mr. Shipley.
Mr. Bragdon.
Mr. Bragdon.
Mr. Arnold.
Mr. Arnold.
Monsieur Mallet, Kapuskasing Timmins, Mushkegowuk.
Monsieur Mallet, Kapuskasing Timmins, Mushkegowuk.
Monsieur Lefebvre.
Monsieur Lefebvre.
Mrs. Gallant.
Mrs. Gallant.
Mr. Allison.
Mr. Allison.
Mr. Vierson.
Mr. Vierson.
Mr. Diot.
Mr. Diot.
Mr. Epp.
Mr. Epp.
Mrs. Wagenthal.
Mrs. Wagenthal.
Mr. Albutef.
Mr. Albutef.
Mr. Motts.
Mr. Motts.
Mr. Dalton.
Mr. Dalton.
Mr. Doddle.
Mr. Doddle.
Mr. Cram.
Mr. Cram.
Mr. McLean, Calgary Centre.
Mr. McLean, Calgary Centre.
Mr. Tolney.
Mr. Tolney.
Mr. Lewis Essex.
Mr. Lewis Essex.
Mr. Patzer.
Mr. Patzer.
Mr. Leslie.
Mr. Leslie.
Mr. Giovanni.
Mr. Giovanni.
Mrs. Anstey.
Mrs. Anstey.
Mr. Au.
Mr. Au.
Mr. Babber.
Mr. Babber.
Mr. Bailey.
Mr. Bailey.
Mr. Bexty.
Mr. Bexty.
Mr. Bonk.
Mr. Bonk.
Miss Cobinia.
Miss Cobinia.
Mr. Davies, Niagara South.
Mr. Davies, Niagara South.
Mrs. DeRitter.
Mrs. DeRitter.
Mr. Gill, Calgary McKnight.
Mr. Gill, Calgary McKnight.
Mr. Gill, Windsor West.
Mr. Gill, Windsor West.
Monsieur Groslo.
Mr. Groslo.
Mr. Googlemine.
Mr. Googlemine.
Mr. Gunn.
Mr. Gunn.
Monsieur Hardy.
Monsieur Hardy.
Mr. Holman.
Mr. Holman.
Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Kibble.
Mr. Kibble.
Miss Kirkland.
Miss Kirkland.
Mrs. Conant.
Mrs. Conant.
Miss Cronus.
Miss Cronus.
Mr. Currick.
Mr. Currick.
Mr. Ruff.
Mr. Ruff.
Mr. Mahal.
Mr. Mahal.
Mr. McKenzie.
Mr. McKenzie.
Mr. Reynolds.
Mr. Reynolds.
Mr. Rowe.
Mr. Rowe.
Mr. Stevenson.
Mr.